It's time to play the Muppets on the old NES. This will be so nostalgic. Muppet! Muppet! Vari Major, what the hell is that?
You said you needed puppets.
That's not a puppet! That looks like Meatwad and Jar Jar Binks' aborted love child.
Dude, we're on a budget. You already cut back on hair and makeup.
To the point of needing to cannibalize food from the fridge?
Of course!
Christ, I need to start a Patreon. What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? What's going on, Basement Brother? Guys, I'm up here in Forest Lake visiting the video game store in the far north. Where is the laser? I want the laser. This sucks. Can't stop on stuff. You gotta punch it. Yeah. The Muppets were huge in the late 70s and throughout the 80s. The Muppet Show was such a huge hit, it led the Muppets to star in their full-length motion picture called, well, The Muppet Movie. Other films and spin-offs would follow, so it only seemed natural that a video game would come out at some point. Muppet Adventure Chaos at the Carnival was released on DOS, Apple, and Commodore 64 in 1989. The version I have here, for the NES, was released in 1990. The story's pretty simple. This piggy's been kidnapped. Or pignapped. Newsflash! Miss Piggy pignapped! Notorious carnival owner Dr. Grump is prime suspect. Superstar Pig may be captive on carnival grounds. Kermit and the Muppets to attempt daring rescue. Press start. There's 4 stages to select. You're free to complete them in any order you see fit. I'm just going to go down the line and complete them in order, starting with River Ride. River Ride's a simple rail where you dodge things like rocks and logs as you make your way to the goal. River Ride very much reminds me of a game on the Atari 2600 called River Raid. Except that you can't shoot anything and you find yourself caught on half of the obstacles to the point of just waiting to die. At the end of the stage, you get a key. You need all 4 keys to unlock the final stage where you encounter the evil doctor and his nasty Grumposaurus monster. Anyone else find that dirty? Next is Car Course. How original. This is like Grand Prix on the Atari 2600. But without the other cars. Are all of these stages just going to be Atari clones? This is 8-bit! We expect a lot more! And let me tell you, this stage sucks. If you try to go fast, you will die. There are so many things in your way, and the game barely gives you any time to react. It kind of reminds me of the Turbo Tunnel in Battletoads, which I still can't beat to this day. So, how do you beat this? Well, you can keep crashing into everything until you memorize the layout of the track, or, since there's not a time limit, you can just go really slow and make your way to the end as cautiously as possible.
Oh my god, how long is this track?
Not everything is an obstacle in this stage. Running into bombs hurts you, but running into barrels gives you points.
Oh, yeah, of course, that makes complete sense.
Ugh. Finally. Alright. Third stage. Space Ride. Come on! This is Asteroids! Meets Defender! Are you serious? There really isn't much to say. This stage is on a moving rail, and you have to shoot everything that comes your way. Eventually, you'll make your way to a Gradius-style part of the stage that gets insanely hard. You can't touch any of the enemies or the walls. Normally, this wouldn't be too big of a deal, except that the gameplay isn't like Gradius. It's like Asteroids. For those that are not familiar, when you use your thruster in Asteroids, you continue in a forward momentum in the opposite direction of where you fired it. In Asteroids, this works and makes for a fun and difficult challenge. In Space Ride, it makes it next to impossible not to hit everything in your path. Miraculously, I did get to the end and got the key. Fourth stage, Amazing Maze.
You so thinking it's a maze?
Yup, it's a maze. You play as Fozzie, gathering items while dodging enemies. It's really that simple. As you get farther, there's more items to grab as well as more enemies on the map. The thing I find most annoying about this stage is the angle that it's set. It's not super clear where the path is at a quick glance, and I find myself backtracking to what I first thought was a wall. While this is the most original of all the stages, it still feels like it could have been on Atari as a Pac-Man style game. This just gets repetitive and feels like a game where you would compete against your friends for points rather than have an actual goal to achieve. But if you keep up with it long enough, the key will appear and you will unlock the final stage. The final stage actually feels like you're playing a Nintendo game. It's a simple platformer where you jump from block to block while dodging bats and whatever the hell those are and whatever the hell that is. You keep moving forward until the stage comes to an abrupt end and you find yourself fighting the evil doctor. He throws bombs, which you have to dodge as you hit him with hearts. 5 or so hits and he's done. Drats! I've been defeated by the power of love! Oh, thank you! But it sure took you long enough! What a bitch! Maybe I'll just leave you here with Dr. Grump and his Grumpasaurus. Wait. Where was his Grumpasaurus? All I saw was the doctor throwing down bombs, unless... Was this the Grumpasaurus? This pink thing that I knocked into the pit in a matter of seconds? Why is it called a Grumpasaurus? This looks nothing like a dinosaur. It looks like a pink Teletubby. Pinky Winky. And why did they make such a huge deal out of it? It wasn't even a boss battle. I honestly thought that this was just another weird random enemy. Not Ridley before Mother Brain. Not Genova before Sephiroth. This was more like the Hammer Brother before Bowser. This feels less like a cohesive game and more like 4 Atari games slapped together with a Muppets thrown in as the last minute thought. Some of you may be thinking, yeah, Uncle Danny, it was ported from a DOS game, so what were you expecting? The thing is, the DOS game is totally different. It has the same idea for mini-games, but there are more of them. One of them's even called Duck Hunt. Gee, I wonder why that didn't make it to the NES version. The stages are simpler, and the NES version is a definite improvement. But why port this at all if you had to make so many changes? Why not start from scratch and make the whole game similar to the end stage? That would have been awesome! A side-scrolling adventure like Castlevania done with Muppets? I would play the hell out of that! Instead, what we get is a series of mini-games that would have been fine 7 years prior on Atari, but completely inexcusable on the NES. And speaking of inexcusable, that puppet's starting to smell.
You want to cook it up and eat it?
Yeah, because that sounds like something people do.
It's time to raise the curtain on the Muppet